Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today we will be working on a C1. Apologies for a little bit slow in productions, but I've been having a rather busy December. But first, let me tell you everyone, I hope you have a good Christmas. Hope you make the best of what you can this year, and thank you for being a loyal subscriber. And if you're not, please hit the subscribe button. So what are we up to today? Well, like I said, I'm in a little C1. We are going to do a wheel bearing on the near side front, and I'm going to take you along and show you how I do that. So we've got it all jacked up and on a stand, all ready to go. Just before I do anything and get this wheel off, I want to show you why we're doing this job. If I leave you on the stand there, you'll see that it is literally allowing a lot of wobble there, causing a lot of movement on the hub and making a lot of racket inside the car. So I'm going to get this wheel off, get the bonnet open, and then I'll bring you back when it's a case of showing you what we need to undo. So guys, as you know already from watching possibly some of my previous videos, I like to pre-loosen everything. But if I hadn't, this would have been a very blue content type video which YouTube probably wouldn't have approved of. So we've got this plastic cover already loose with the washer jet on it. There's a clip just at the bottom there which goes into that point there, and then there is literally just a push clip which you use a little screwdriver in to pop it up like so, and that will come out there, and then that comes off, unhooking that like so from there. That will just twist loose. That then little clip goes into this hole, but any eagle-eye viewers will also know, and if they know this car, that I've already bent this up, because rather than taking all the wiper arm and off and everything, I have decided to undo one 10mm from there, another 10mm from there, and then there's two 10mm hiding just literally one down the bottom there, as you can just about see, and then one that goes through this hole and into there. I'll bend it back into shape afterwards, but for now I've just moved it out of the way because that gives me just enough space to get in here to the top strut. And that top strut in the end center bit is 6mm hex, and then you use a 17mm swan neck spanner on there to undo it. That is all pre-loosened and very rusty, so I would advise doing what I done. I left that sitting for a good half hour with full of WD-40. I do feel like that helped, just as a heads up on that one. So going down to the bottom here, what have we done down here? Well, we've got this undone, which is the center nut, and this is not a normal hex, so what you will need for this is a 30mm 12-point socket. And then let's get that off out of the way. And then we've got this, which is a 17mm. There's a split pin that runs through here, you need to get that out, and then you undo this 17mm just like this. And what you'll need to do is, before you undo it fully, give it a good whack on the side with a hammer here, not on the ball, not on the nut, but just on the knuckle, just here. Give it a good whack there, and then you'll find that it should then free up to the point of where it can come out just like that. So we've got to undo this this bolt just here, and this is a 14mm socket. Just like so. So that now frees up the flexi. Pull this one off for the ABS sensor, and then down in the bottom here, which you won't be able to see wherever I put the camera, but down here, like literally right at the bottom of where my finger is a 10mm. So if we change the socket to a 10mm, be able to grab that one out just like so, and then that should now put out. So I've tried getting this ABS sensor out with some needle nose vice grips, but for now it's not budging. So we're going to tackle another job and then come back to it in a bit, because I'll be able to get better access to it to hopefully get it out. So first of all, we need T30 Torx on this to undo that. Make sure that's nice and loose, which it is. We also need 13mm on these. Now that should come off nicely. I'm just going to tuck that behind the ABS wire and let it drop down here for now, and let it sit just on the tyre there because it's just long enough to do that. Then we're going to get the carrier off. So the carrier is 17mm nuts, or bolts, sorry. Up there. And that disc can come off. Just like so. So now, as you can see, or should be able to see, there's a little cover here. If I undo that bolt there, I should be able to get this cover off, and I'll be able to get better access to this wire, which is the ABS wire, and hopefully, fingers crossed, get it out. Thankfully that was quite loose anyway, because I hadn't pre-loosened that. And now, as you can see, we can get better access to that. Hopefully we'll be able to get in there with something to pull that out. Right, so it's twisting. Let's see if it will come out now. Oh, yeah, that's not coming out. I don't feel like I've broken the wires, but I've certainly snapped something. So with what happened, guys, as you can see, it snapped off there. I didn't break the wires, but in temper I've just ripped it off and broke the wires out purely because it annoyed me. But it's fine. I am gonna, when I get the leg off and I take the wheel bearing out, I am gonna knock that through and clean all that out for a brand new ABS sensor to go in. Because even if I hadn't broken the wires, like I don't believe I had, I still wouldn't feel comfortable with leaving this on there. So I followed it all out, and we've actually unplugged it from the other end. It follows all the way up here. It goes on a clip up the top just there where my finger is, and then it comes through behind here, and I've moved the light, which is two 10mm bolts, one there and one there, and it goes into this plug just here and then clips down the side round about here. So that's all unplugged properly, so it doesn't matter about me breaking at the other end because I'm going to replace it with a new one. So now the plan is to get this bottom knuckle off, which is a 19mm, and then drop that out, and then take this 17mm off the top here, and then the leg should come out nice and easily because there's nothing else left to do, because we'll just push that out as we're taking it out as well. So I've already tidied up now, guys, and I've put all my tools away because this is done as far as the work I can do on the car for now, because I've got the leg out, as you can see there on the floor. This light is temporarily just resting in, it's not bolted in. Bonnet isn't shut properly because of that piece being bent up, but I'll re-straighten it afterwards. All this is just sitting here, resting loosely and ready to go back together when I need to. And like I said, you can take the top nut off, and the other nut in there as well. There's another nut in there which holds the spring in place, so that's not a problem. We have got what's left of the ABS sensor there, and as you can see, I've already tried knocking it through, but I've got my drill on charge. I'll drill that out if I need to instead. And I'm basically going to take this down to my friend in the garage, and he's going to press in this lovely new wheel bearing for me, which is just there. So once that's all been cleaned up and pressed in, I will then have this leg back, and should all happen around about the same sort of time when I get the new ABS sensor, and we'll be able to pick this up tomorrow where we left off and put it all back together then. I did say just in the previous clip about picking it up where we left off, but instead I realised I'm really stressed for time, so I decided to work in the dark, and working in the dark means I can't do any recordings, unfortunately, because I won't be able to see me. But we've got this all back together with the pin in. We've got a new nut on there, which I've smacked down with a hammer and a screwdriver to kind of bend that in, and we've got all the caliper back together with also a new bottom ball joint pin. I don't know if I'll be able to show you that, but the pin is in there as well for that, and that's all put back together. We've literally got the sensor to go in, so I've got this light out the way still. We've literally got two 10mm for the light to go in, one there and one just there. But before we do that, we've got to connect the new sensor up to this plug and put it in the hub. So my good friend at the garage done that wheel bearing last night, and I helped him, assisted him with that. But here's our lovely new wheel bearing, our lovely new ABS sensor. Not bad in price. It was only £22 from the parts store. That's going to go in now. Then have its one 10mm bolt go through that hole just there, and then we'll just feed these wires up and hook these points where they need to be, which these two will go into that point there and that point there. And then we've then got this clip which goes up inside there just behind the cover, and then we've then got the plug which will plug into behind the light. So I'm actually going to put a plug in first just to make sure that it all plugs in nicely and work from the top down, because I know that bit will go in. So I'm going to get this done, and then I'll get the wheel back on, and so I'll get this done and I'll bring it back in afterwards. So this is all put back together now. I remembered something actually. Don't take my word for it when it comes to removing these headlights. There is a bolt just there, and there is a bolt just there, but I believe there's probably a bolt round here as well. Not entirely sure, but because as you can see none of these panels meet up, there's a big gap there, there's a gap there, and it doesn't mean that this has had a hit on the front, and both headlights have got brackets missing and all sorts. So everything's secure and not going to fall apart, except it's taken a hit and there's loads of clips broken and stuff. So don't take my word for when it comes to removing that light. The ABS plug is behind the light, and you do need to get the light out to actually be able to plug it in and unplug it, but I could be wrong. There could be another bolt hiding down the bottom here. But anyway, we've got that all set up. They've designed these in such a way where once you put them in, they will break when you remove them. So just a word of caution with that. They're so tight to get in there, even though me and my friend at the garage did give it a bit of a pre-drill just to clean it all up and make sure it's nice and clean on the hole. It was still quite a tight fit, and I'm not impressed with how short this cable is. An extra inch on the cable, really, guys, when you're making parts. Don't know who it is that made this, but yeah, anyway, so just that extra inch on the cable would have been much better, but it's got enough flex here, so that's the main bit, so that's all that matters. This being flexible, not too much of a problem. This being flexible is the main bit, so for the steering. But I'm just going to basically chuck the wheel back on, and then I'm going to take it for a retest. So yeah, guys, the car originally failed on its front wheel bearing, and that has now been sorted. As per typical, I've been a nana and I've been more worried about getting things done lately than I have been doing proper recordings, so I give my sincere apologies for that. And but the car is all done, it's all past its MOT, and it's all back with its owner again. So I'm going to say thank you for watching. Hope you have a good Christmas. Take care and stay safe. Just before I do go, I'll put another one of my videos up in this top corner, and my YouTube subscribe icon will be in this bottom corner. Please consider subscribing. I do intend on a new year, a new start, and lots more videos. Bye for now. Merry Christmas.